Hey, what's up, everybody? Brandon here. So, quick story, right? My last video, I said I was going to upload 30 videos in 30 days straight. That clearly didn't happen, but I'm back now. And instead of just talking about it, I'm actually going to show you one of the things I've been working on my day to day, which is options and futures trading. So, quick background for those that don't know, haven't heard me, don't know me. I got a background in financial economics degree from Binghamton University. I spent about 4 years at JP Morgan Chase working in vendor management. Then I moved on to resolution of recovery on the regulatory side and ended up in intraday liquidity. I was forecasting billions of dollars in daily cash flow. So after JP Morgan, I ended up working at a few startups. I ran a product for a candle company. I ended up becoming chief of staff to the CFO to an AI logistics company. And as of recently, I was doing sales at a cleaning company founded by family owned. Um, but through all of that, right, my main focus or desire was to, trade. So I've been trading options for about a little over 4 years now. I've been getting better, working on my method, trying to improve. So today I'm going to walk you guys through these three potential plays that I'm watching at this very moment over the next 2 to 4 weeks. For each one, we're going to look at various time frames: the monthly time frame, the 2 week time frame, the weekly, and the daily, just to see where these reversal points might be, just to double check on our methods. So let's just dive straight in. So with that being said, the first one we're going to look at is PLD, Prologis. So let me start off with the monthly time frame. Here, what we're looking at, for those that don't know, this is a tool called Trading View. Here you can, do trades and whatnot. So just for the sake of things, I'm gonna eliminate any indicator right now. This is a normal chart, but I have indicators uh, that allow me to choose plays better based on certain like triggers or certain setups and whatnot. So right now, what you see that I have here on the monthly time frame is the Fibonacci retracement plays from the very bottom to the lowest price point to the highest one. And Fibonacci retracements, we could do another deep dive in another video. But then you could think about them like mathematical, numerical formulas um, that life and everything in society tends to gravitate towards or reject from a bounce off of. So, just quick example: your face has a perfectly shaped Fibonacci flow to it. So similarly, and a lot of plants as well, a lot of the way things are shaped. So numbers also work in that frame. So we always try to find or highlight where there have been reversals or pivot points or adjustments between the 620 and the 786. Actually, you could stretch it as far up as the point 0.5 and the 786. This is pretty much called the golden zone. And it's just price points where price tends to reverse off of. So like here, this was a quick wick right here, right? You can see they reversed off, similar to here as well. And here as well, it kind of bounced off, coming back down. This is the monthly, right? So what we're seeing here is that this inside candle, which means that price has been consolidating because it is within the previous candle, for the monthly time frame is pushing up, but it's still within this time frame. So this candle will close once the month has ended at the end of November. However, this is looking fairly promising. Nothing yet 100% for you to define. Just know that there's a lot of support here. So every time prices come around this area has bounced back. So to come up, went up, bounced down, went up, bounced down, went up, hovered, right? Came down, bounced up again in that same price point, came down, bounced up, came down, bounced up, came close, didn't hit it, came down, and now it's bouncing back up. So, we're looking nothing to confirm yet. Now, if we zoom in on the 2 week, you can see that this is what you call kind of a hammer because price came down and there's a wick. So that's why the stick is skinny and there's more of a body on the top here. However, you can see that price again and again has rejected around this area here, right? Around this area. You can see that price has been rejecting again and again. So what I would like to see is price close above the previous weekly high with a lot of bullish momentum and also volume, right? So I'll check. So that's one of the indicators I can add on. is to see if there's volume coming in, right? The green is bullish, means there's a lot of like calls or like people buying, and the red is selling, bearish movement and whatnot. So those are things to look at as well. One of the things I would turn on is the screener called 25 cents. Pardon me, the LVL framework. And this indicator, right? You can see here there's three of them called 25 cents. You have here on the monthly, on the 2-week, and on the daily. And the premise of this indicator, so for example, on the we'll just start off on the monthly, nothing has been triggered. So we'll do the daily, right? So here, what this is saying is that based on the higher frame candle, so let's say like the monthly, right? Whenever price, if price in this case, price ended here on this candle, and we moved down on the following candle, right? And then we moved up. Price opened up here because it closed up here. And I know that because this outer line is green, which means that this is the end of the price. You can also tell that this is where price closed. So what this is telling me is that because price went down at least 25%, right, of the entire range of this, that would highlight the 25 cents LVL framework trigger, and it would trigger either down or up. And in this case, it triggered down. But if I'm not mistaken, the play was already made. Yes, because it triggered down when price came all the way down here and it went up. You can see I'm just looking at this on a 1 hour time frame, brought it down, and you can see it. I wouldn't be able to tell you unless I were to click the replay, and I'll show you Friday, right? At what time did this pop out? So this came up, even the day before then. So you can see how it's moving. Let's see. Oh, this is on the. Sorry about that. So again, right? If I wanted to select a bar and I bring it to like Thursday 2:30, right? Right now, the indicator had already been activated. So if I bring it to the beginning of Thursday at 9:30, yes, that's where it was activated. Oh no, not even prior to. Like Wednesday morning, this was an activated long, right? Now activated short when it came down below probably the weekly range. It sounds about right. Okay, so that's a trigger, right? And that tends to work pretty often. So that's something that I've been looking at for some time. Shout out to Kia Teach.Trade team that they released this indicator. So, okay, that's PLD. So I brought down from the 2-week, monthly, the 2-week. Now I have the weekly, right? And here this became a 3. This is price came down here and then it went back up. So it was battling. That's because everything kind of rushed up. I'm thinking like the tech sector and the S&P 500 sector. Tech sector QQQ is all the 100 top tech companies in the United States, and then SPY is the top 500 companies in the United States. So that's PLD. But you can see it broke up this previous high. I think it would aim to be this high and then this one, but then there's a lot of resistance here. So it's just something to be mindful that I'd be looking at. I'd probably see right now what is active, and I can see that the daily is active, but I got to see the daily LVL framework, but I need to see when it changes when the week starts on Monday. So that's PLD. Let's look into PG. So PG, we have here Procter & Gamble. I'm bullish on this one. Let me show you why across a few time frames. So it came down here, hit some resistance point here, right? And oh shoot. Oh no. All right, that's fine. Let me just make the previous weekly low here. Look at the weekly. Yep, at the alert. Okay, so looking at the monthly, right, we can see that price came down, right? All-time highs up here about 180.43, right, on a monthly time frame. And this is the Fibonacci. What I did was I took it from the very bottom, from the very low. I'm going to go on the 3-month time frame real quick just for you guys to see it. So I took Fibonacci from the lowest price point ever back over here in 1970 all the way to the highest price point in October 2024. So these are all the moments where price can potentially reject. Like here, you can see the 618 bounced off of that. Here, bounced it off again. Here, bounced off the 786 in 2010, right? Exactly. Okay. So here I can see that price tends to consolidate around this area between 0.1 and what looks like 0.214 for now. Now on a monthly basis, monthly is not done, but you can tell that price is coming, trying to come back up. I would potentially get in here, right? One, I would see if like the 50% of the previous month's range has been passed, right? So if price remains above under this 50% of October's range, then I wouldn't buy calls, or I wouldn't buy long dated calls. But what I would like to do to confirm this is go on the 2-week, and I'll see if it closes above 152.18, right? Then I would like to get into calls. However, the LVL framework, if I'm not mistaken, on a 2-week and on a monthly has been activated. So the entry point was already activated for these. And if I would have followed these, right, I could have got at least TP. Look at TP1, TP1 here for the 2-week trigger. This was the 2-week entry, right? And this is the goal, TP2 right here. I could have got in and hit TP1, and then the monthly entry triggered on 149.57. Right, the TP1 is here. That's the 0.5%, and then TP2 is up here, the full range of the previous month's range. So actually, this is looking good. I'm not gonna lie, and it's because there's a double bottom right here. So price bounced off here, and then bounced off right here, and then it bounced off right here as well. Right, so this is something for me to really consider. Definitely bullish. So especially on the monthly time frame, you can see that it's been activated. So if I go back on the weekly time frame, you can see that price hit a bottom here, right? It didn't make a lower low, right? So this is the lower. So this is a lower low. So this is a lower low. Then this is a higher low. Here is what was about the same. It was a little lower low, then it bounced back up. It wasn't as low as this previous one, so it went up. So similar here, because I don't think it went lower. This is a definitely good for bullish. So you can see that it's, it came down, consolidated in this area, and it's trying to break above the uptrend and go forward. So currently hitting any long-term Fibonacci retracement. Let me see. If I look at it on a monthly, you can see that it came down either 0.214, and then now it's going its way back up to the 0.1, close to all-time highs, but nonetheless, we could catch it on the reversal. Okay, and then we're gonna jump to the last play, and the last one is Salesforce, stock ticker CRM. All right, so this is another bullish setup for me here. Let me walk you through the time frame. So you can see that on the monthly time frame, CRM came down. Right, last month was a 3, which meant that the range for the month of October hit a lower low compared to September and a higher high compared to September. Now in November, you can see that price came below October's low, right, of 233.51, and it came down, but it didn't break. It broke the previous monthly low of August, but the one before then the lower low was May of 2024. So if I were to go in to a lower time frame on the 2-week, right, we can see that it was a 2 down continuation on the 2-week. This is a higher indication that price will continue to come down unless there's a big wick to the upside. So now if we're looking at a weekly, right, this was a 2-1-2 down continuation. Now price can continue coming down a little bit more and take out this low right here that you guys are seeing, but that's not 100% sure. So we just need to see. Is there any trigger on the LVL? As of now, no. Oh, these are all my triggers for various tickers. I will look for CRM on this side. And this hasn't been updated, so this is as of Friday. However, I would need to look on Monday to see if anything triggers, right? So I'll delete this. What am I seeing here? You can see that it rejected the 0.28 Fibonacci and came down here. If I were to go in and zoom into the daily, you can see that there's a potential reversal coming through now, right? And the daily did trigger. The daily LVL long was triggered to the upside. So what I would need to do is see if there's a potential two down, two up reversal and close over previous highs. The 0.382 Fibonacci is also a good reversal point. So I'm definitely going to be taking a look at this. But I can see that on the daily is trying to make its way up, and it has the monthly green as well. So you can see that it's trying to make its way back up. Let us see. So I mentioned these three setups that I like. PLD, I like it. This is a weekly time frame. You got the 2 week and the daily that's been triggered on the LVL long, and there's a high chance that I'm going to take it. But the 0.28 does serve as resistance, so we're going to be monitoring. PG is more bullish. I have there's more bullish in my end compared to PLD, so I'm definitely going to be looking at this closely. Definitely bullish if it stays above the entry on the monthly of 149.57. So I'm looking to take that at least maybe like 2 to 6 weeks out, an expiration contract of January, maybe 16, 2026. For PLD, I have to look on those contracts, but for PG, definitely January 2026. And then for CRM, those contracts tend to be a little more pricier. However, I'm going to be monitoring this as well. I'm also bullish on this long term. Here you could tell that this is a place of support and resistance, right? So if you see around here, you see it bounced up and came down, again came down, boom, it passed it, and then came down. It was now it served this point as support versus resistance. And it came support a few times. So I'm going to be monitoring it. Still making lower lows. You could see here, boom, boom. But I'm going to be checking that out closely. Okay. So PG is the most bullish, then CRM, which is sitting at like support on this side, and then PLD, which, I'm looking to see 50-50 if this is a bullish or bearish. Okay. All right. So I've explained the three plays to you guys. Will I take the three plays? Not 100% sure. So I'm looking at various things. I'm looking at various time frames. I'm looking at the LVL setup to see if it's been activated. I'm looking at support. I'm looking at resistance, and I'm looking at Fibonacci's retracements. On a lower time frame, like the daily, I do activate ADR and DTR. ADR is average day range, and DTR is day true range. So average is just normally what it moves. So in this case, Salesforce moves about $7.45 per day. And on Friday, it moved $6.72, which is 90% of that 745. So those are some of the indicators that I've been using, that I've been working on. I hope this was helpful. If it was, please, guys, give it a like, subscribe. I'm trying to increase my following, spread what I know, and I will reach out to you guys in the next video. Maybe I'll talk on what plays I took, what I didn't, and how the week went. Talk to you guys soon. Peace. Thank you.